Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
Hey, Swim Lessons listeners, don't forget you can find any of our shows on their full length on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. My guest today is Zach Schroder. Zach Schroder is our sheriff here in Divide County. Him and all the other deputies do a great job keeping Prairie Paradise safe. And he's also, he lives this unique double life. And when I say double life is he's a sheriff by day, and then at night he puts on the headphones and he becomes DJ THUNDER1. He went viral on TikTok for his DJing abilities. He's got 50,000 followers and growing, and his audience is always high. He goes live every night on TikTok at 8 p.m., and it's a unique story because we talk about when he started becoming a DJ early on at the age of 13, and then he progressed to becoming a cop, how both of his lives all of a sudden became one, and I just really liked it, and Zach's very well spoken, and his story is a very unique one. But before we get to Zach Schroder, we got to talk about BSN Sports. Since 1972, BSN Sports has helped area sports teams look their best as they strive for their goals and dreams. They provide apparel, uniforms, and equipment for teams in nearly every sport. Local service with a national reach, that is BSN Sports. Contact your local BSN Sports representative for more information. BSN Sports is a proud sponsor of Swim Lessons, the podcast. Next up, I love this sponsor, Game Day Media, more than a game. Your leader in live video sports coverage in Northwest North Dakota. At Game Day Media, our goal is to expose, support, and promote the best athletes that North Dakota has to offer. Subscribe to our channel at Game Day Media ND on YouTube, or find us on Facebook at Game Day Media for schedules, quick links to games, and stats. Enable alerts, and make sure you watch to see what upcoming events Game Day Media has to offer. In this place, you know I'm a foodie and I love to eat good food. If you're ever in Williston, North Dakota, make sure you go to River's Edge Bar and Grill. They are known for offering the best happy hour in town, providing unbeatable deals and a lively atmosphere. Guests can also enjoy a variety of entertaining activities, including bingo, trivia, and the very popular Name That Tune. Come down to River's Edge for great drinks, great food, and great fun. And this guy is Nick Holberg. He owns PSP Network. If you don't know who he is, make sure you check him out. He's got a great thing going at PSP Network. It's Game Day, promoting local student athletes in the area of Minot and beyond. They are right now in the heart of baseball and softball season. So make sure you check out their schedule events on their website. That's psp.network, or on YouTube at PSP Network. Again, Nick Holberg and his team do an amazing job. He's got a bunch of great sports commentators on his team, and I'm sure come football, fall, and basketball this winter, they're going to do a great job. So right now, make sure you check them out on YouTube at PSP Network. And last but not least, the great and powerful Glosso Angus, a proud sponsor of Swim Lessons, the podcast. Glosso Angus, your premier source for registered Black Angus cattle since 1973. Glosso Angus cattle showcase dominance, durability, and docility, and are built to thrive on the northern plains. Check them out at Glosso Angus, that's GLASOE, Angus.com. If you have a company that's interested in sponsoring a few episodes, let me know. Contact me on any of my social media, but we also got merch. It's at www.dallas.Hansen.com. Got a really cool, unique shirt. They're actually almost sold out, but the sweatshirts, there's a plethora of sweatshirts available. So make sure you get those while they last. But without a doubt, here comes Zach Schroder, the sheriff for Divide County, and also DJ THUNDER1. You are now locked in the party zone. How's it going, man? Thanks for doing this.
It's dynamite, man. I appreciate the invite you got.
Well, I appreciate the shirt. Thanks for the merch. We swapped some merch. How tough is it to be a cop in 2024?
A lot different than it was when I first started out in 2000.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of restrictions. There's a lot of, I don't know. You know what it comes down to, Dallas? It comes down to adaptivity and changes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you have to adapt and you have to change to the way the world is nowadays. If you can't and you're stuck in the old school, It's not going to work for you.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that's the same way with life a little bit. You know what I mean, too?
Absolutely.
Dude, this technology. Oh my goodness. Hold on, I'm going to shut my phone off. This, the like Chat GPT.
Yeah.
I just downloaded the 4.0.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Insane.
It is. It's absolutely. It can be the death of us, or it can be
helpful.
Very helpful.
I think President AI is coming.
I think so too, man.
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to say that, but it's coming. It feels like, because I mean, not to get political right off the bat, but there's certain things in money talks, BS walks type of thing. And dude, this AI just has zero, any of that. It just goes with the facts.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's non-biased. Period.
Right. Yeah, very true. Very true. Well, I mean, I'd be remiss. We got to talk about TikTok, because that's something. And what have you heard? Because you just showed me 50,000 followers on your TikTok. It's been very successful. How did you start? And then my second question is, do you think TikTok's going to be around much longer?
Well, the first question.
Okay.
How did I start? I started in 2022.
Okay.
I think that was kind of at the medium of COVID. And I was basically looking away for to get that entertainment piece out to the public.
Okay.
That was missing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything shut down. And I had seen other people doing it, and I was like, well, I have that equipment. Let me try it and see what it can do. And I incorporated a kind of a radio atmosphere with a club atmosphere. I don't know how, Dallas, are you Gen X?
I'm a millennial.
Come on.
I know, I'm a millennial, man.
So when we were growing up, we would, bring the radio out all the time. That was a piece of us when we were growing up as kids.
Okay.
Teenage, going to the pool with the big boom box and everything. And then a lot of it was, we could relate to that DJ that was playing the music.
Sure.
We kind of felt part of the show because they included their audience, unlike the new radio today.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is just listen to music. You're not a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You would know when this broadcast is going to come out, that potentially if you called 1,000 times, you would get on the radio, and they would talk to you and acknowledge you. Well, that was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing. Those guys were like rock stars, So when you got acknowledged on the radio, it gave you a feeling that, you were recognized.
Yeah.
And, that 5 seconds or 15 seconds, you felt real important. Well, I took that and turned it into an hour and a half of recognition for people all over the world. When they come into my room and my moderators paste their names up, or they're greeting them, I'll see them. And my trademark is, you're locked in the party zone.
The best, yeah.
Welcome in, man.
Yeah, you're locked in the party zone.
Yeah. Some people come in there for, that recognition, move on.
Right.
Some people come in for that, and then they stay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me. It's just that I'm giving a service to somebody that they feel recognized in this world today. It's so negative.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of messages in my direct messages saying, man, I don't even know who these people are, but they're thanking me. And they're like, man, I needed that tonight. Thank you so much. And you'll see it in the comments as the show goes on that, hey, this is the best place for me right now. I had a terrible week or a terrible day, and everybody's talking back and forth and they're relating. And it really isn't a full room of Gen X people. It's ages all the way from, teenagers to 70, 80 years old. I got a guy named Harold Klingman, and he's a vet and he does phenomenal books.
Okay.
Unbelievable books. And this guy tells stories.
Like fiction?
Yeah, they're for real.
Really?
Yeah, he talks about how he was in some country and he was touring, and they stopped in front of this prison and they greeted him, and then he goes in there and it's just not a good experience. But then he comes out. I'll leave that part to the audience.
Really?
Harold Klingman, very good guy. And so I have got to know these kind of people throughout these 2 years, and I stay in contact with them, whether it be direct messages or on the phone.
Yeah.
I got 2 guys that are moderators, and every day when we wake up, we're texting each other, hey, have a good day.
Well, friendship's been born.
Yeah, exactly.
That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, but you got to be careful on the internet on who you become friends with, because it, you know,
scary place.
Yeah,
can be.
A lot of vetting going on before that happens.
Well, like all the merch that I get now for the DC Classic and stuff is all from TikTok, and the guy Nodak Breaks is his name, and he's the same way. He's got moderators. Like, I don't think he has 50,000 followers. I think he's like around that 20 range. But he said echoes the same thing you say. Like,
exactly.
It's like it can be scary sometimes.
It sure can, and I've been there before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
But with technology, you can just grab them out and, you know, get rid of them.
Yeah. So now the second question, is TikTok going to make it?
So your second question, is TikTok going to make it? I absolutely believe it will.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not pulling up stakes and moving on. You know, initially when it first came out with the rumor that TikTok was going to shut down, and a lot of us creator content, you know, content creators or whatever you want to call us nowadays, we're like searching for different platforms to go on because we do monetize. It's a source of income for us. You know, my priority one is my day job.
Yep. Sheriff.
It'll always be that.
Yeah.
You know,
shout out to you, by the way, for being a great sheriff, man. It's awesome.
Thank you. And I enjoy what I do.
Dude, well, Crosby is and I tell this to everybody, a very clean, awesome, safe spot, and big power to you and the deputies. So appreciate you guys.
We take that from Crosby and spread it across the county as well. So
yeah, hell yeah.
You know, being a sheriff.
Yeah, you're not just Crosby.
Not just Crosby, man. You got the whole county.
Yeah.
So we, you know, respect is what we preach, what I preach to my deputies, that, hey, you treat everybody the same, regardless of what they did, what they said, or how, you know, just what, you know, that's the end of, that's the end all be all. If you walk away from that, you need to go to a different county. Yeah, no, I'm with you. But back to your question, is TikTok going to shut down? I don't think so. You know, if you listen to what's happening in the news, and there's subtle hints out there about TikTok, I truly believe that somebody's going to take it over, the U.S. part of it, or there's going to be some kind of compromise where they have theirs and branch it off to be separate here. No, so, I get you. Not to get political or anything. No, you're good. But there's one person that's running for president right now that doesn't want to get rid of it. And you got quite a bit of money to back it up to make sure it stays here. Yeah, no, totally. Well, the funniest story that I think I can ever, and I never in my wildest dreams would I think about this, but my uncle and my cousin come pheasant hunting here in Crosby. Yeah. And he came and we went hunting, had a great day. And then we're sitting upstairs watching TV and I hear him on TikTok and he's like, dude, I love this guy. His name is DJ Thunder. And he says, you're locked in the party zone. I'm like, let me see that. And it was you. And I'm like, holy, and my uncle's from Minneapolis. I'm like, holy crap, that's Sheriff Schroder. Like, this is awesome. I immediately downloaded TikTok, like started watching, and I absolutely loved it. So that's kind of my story of finding you. Yeah. It's a small world. That's awesome, man. I see, and it's awesome to see something like that spread all the way from Minneapolis up to small town Crosby. I had no idea you lived here. I say Crosby because it kind of reminds me of that. But yeah. And I'm originally from Minneapolis. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, so I have quite a few people down in Minneapolis that I still converse with. Okay. But they don't know about the party zone. I keep that part. Yeah, separate. Yeah, separate entity. Yeah. I don't blame you. I mean, you're living, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. You're living like a double life where it's like, you're like Superman. You're one day you're doing, you're a cop, and then at night you're like this badass DJ. It's awesome, man. I'm telling you, it's the best of both worlds. It's cool. But you were telling me, because I had to do the prom, because you were obligated to TikTok, but not a problem. Yeah. And you were telling me some stories how you used to DJ back in like, what was it, the 80s? Yeah, I started when I was 13 years old. Tell us about that. Boy, the technology has changed from 13 years old to now I'm 54. Do you ever think we'd have AI like this? No. Dude, it's insane. I'm telling you, man, this AI can be a big thing for our industry as well. And I already see it in some part of it. Yeah. I'll get back to that story about when I started when I was 13, but talking about this AI and what we do in our work right now, as far as the entertainment business goes, I got that app you're talking about, and there's also an app I use to create my videos. And in that,
What's a video one called? Osmo?
It is called.
Because I got one too, and it's wild because I had uploaded my full podcast, and it'll automatically like go through it all, find out which is like the most highlighted 30 seconds, clip that, add it with the words involved, and just so it's the most likely to go viral.
So this will take my product that I'm promoting, because we do promote products for the TikTok shop.
Yep.
It's just like Amazon. You still got to be careful on Amazon. You got to be careful on TikTok as well. But I can. There's a drink I promote. It's called Lost and Found Energy Drink, and I can take that picture and do a video with it, and then just make it do my script.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
So it'll scrub the internet on what's on Lost and Found Energy all over the internet, and grab that information and then write a script for you. And it's like, my goodness, this person, this AI knows everything about this product that just showed up in my hand by scrubbing the internet.
Doesn't the new Android phone have that too?
I'm not sure.
You're an Apple guy too?
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to Rogan the other day, and he got the new Android.
Yeah.
And it says you can click on like an article, and you don't want to read the whole article, but it will sum it up in a paragraph.
That's awesome.
And that's wild.
It saves me time.
Yeah.
Because I'm scrolling through anyways, trying to look for the important part and read it.
Yeah.
But it's a great tool, man.
Oh, it is. As long as we use it in the right way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked about that earlier, but getting back to when I started when I was 13, I went through this decision in life at the age of 13 because I was taught that you have to work for what you want, so I had to get a job right away. And my first job was at Mr. Steak washing dishes. And I'm like, I don't like this, man. Come on. I'm here after school. I'm not digging this. I want those nice sneakers and jeans and things like this, but there's gotta be a way. So I thought about my future, and I'm like, okay, I have to start doing things that'll get me a great job in my future. And that would be A, DJ, B, an ambulance driver, or C, a cop.
So even from the early on ages, you knew you wanted to do both.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Exactly.
Good for you.
Exactly.
I wish I had that in my life. I'm still looking, man.
So I ask these kids nowadays, because I mentor a lot of kids in law enforcement, and I ask them, what are you going to do when you get older? And you know what? They got the blank stare.
Yeah.
And I could ask a fifth grader, a fourth grader, a third grader, and I could ask a 10th, 11th, and 12th grader the same question. And guess what answer I get?
Not sure.
Don't know.
Yeah.
And mind you, 12th, man.
You're getting into the world, buddy.
You're getting into the world after you graduate.
Yeah. 18, you're in it.
Yeah. And I wish I could tell them this story, but I never have enough time because there's so many kids to work with.
Well, tell us, dude. They'll listen to this.
But yeah, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and go to Radio Shack. You know what that is?
Oh, yeah. Shout out Radio Shack.
Yeah,
I love that place, too.
I love that place.
Had everything.
It had everything, man. You could build everything.
Yeah.
So I went to Radio Shack, and I had no idea what I was doing. But I was tired, it was right across the street from my high school. No, not high school at the time. I lived in Bloomington by the Met Stadium, Met Center.
Yep.
So I'd walk up there, ride my bike up there or whatever, and look for equipment that I could utilize and afford at 13 years old for Mr. Steak washing dishes.
Yeah.
And of course, I had parents that said, hey, you got priorities, man. Don't spend that money on junk. So if I got a new piece of DJ equipment, I kind of hid it. I hid it when I brought it in the house so they wouldn't give me the spiel, And eventually, I don't know why I kept my receipts, from the store. But
they found
my receipts, and they said, what are you doing with all this? Is expensive stuff, man. And so I told them, I said, this is what I'm going to do. And so you got to network. I learned at a young age, you got to start networking with people that are interested in this kind of, a gig. And I thought, well, I'll go to the roller rink because that guy up there is doing a fantastic job.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but that didn't work because he wanted to stay there. I didn't know that dude's dedicated. So if I wanted his job, he'd have to get out. So
right.
nothing to do with me. So, you're knocking on doors, see where you can fit in. And I found out that there's these dances like weddings and things like that. And I was like, let me try. I talked to somebody and they had this special needs dance, they were vulnerable adults and so I get there and I set up my equipment. Mind you, it's not like what I got nowadays.
Right.
But I set it all up and I'm like, yeah. And I had some vinyl,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a lot, but, I had
some.
I had some, but yet I was still at the beginning stage of I had the vinyl what I liked. Not for
the public.
Not for the public. So I'm playing this and mind you, I got the radio experience, in my head from listening to the radio and the live interaction from the roller rink DJ. Now this is a dance where they got tennis shoes on and they're dressed up nice. And I was like, all right, this next song goes out to guys only.
Oh.
And I'm like, wait a second, that's the roller rink. You can't say that when these people aren't.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, all right, let's focus here. How are we going to make this dance
you were
work?
16 at the time?
I was 13.
13 at 13 years old.
13 years old. I was like, how are we going to make this dance work?
Yeah.
So I was like, focus, man. I mean, I don't know if you ever been in a live atmosphere before where you getting paid and you got people that are dependent upon your entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
So instantly the stress kicks in and your adrenaline starts going and everything was fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everything was fine.
Yeah. No, I get you there because when I was in Phoenix, I would do stand-up comedy. Yeah. And, dude, if the first 2 jokes didn't hit, that clock in your brain starts going, dude, you're starting to bomb.
Exactly.
So I know exactly what you mean. The pressure's on and... But sorry, continue. So you start 13, things start progressing a little bit?
So then I did get a job at a teen club in Minneapolis that was at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, nice.
And this was called Widgets Nightclub.
Okay.
And it was a teen nightclub. And I call them up. I started opening the phone book and I'm calling these places. Yeah, I'm looking to replace your DJ.
Nice.
I step in it like
right
that.
Right there. Like,
I step in it like that.
Job. Yeah.
I'm looking to replace your DJ. And when can I get an interview?
What do they usually say?
Well, we don't need to replace our DJ, kind of thing. But at least they were willing to listen to me.
Yeah.
And it gave me that confidence to keep going.
Right.
You never give up, man. If you're gonna chase something, never give up. Look at this angle, and this angle. Just don't keep your eye straight. Keep it all going, So I eventually
that was good. I like that. That was really good.
So I eventually got going and I made more phone calls and I seen this Widgets and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking to replace your DJ. And they're like, when can I interview? And they're like, can you come in and make it this Friday? And I'm like, yeah, sure. What time? Well, make sure you get here by 7:00 because the show starts at 8. Whoa. So I was like, all right, cool. So I show up at 7. The DJ that was on board at the time is like, have you done this before? And I'm like, not in this kind of a atmosphere. I mean, there's lights and mind you, back then you're controlling all this stuff.
Oh, you controlled the lights and stuff as
Everything.
Well? Wow.
Everything. So now my computers control all that. It's like AI. It just does it for me. But yeah, he's like, all right, let me show you everything. And then I'm going to get out of here because this is my last night. I really want to go home. I just had to come in and train you. I'm like, I'm starting tonight.
So you're doing the tonight?
I'm starting tonight. He's like, yeah, why? I didn't. Okay.
All right. Feet to the fire. Here we go.
So here we were. And I was doing that gig for about 2-3 years out in Burnsville, Minnesota, coming back.
Nice.
I didn't have the best car either, so I was like...
You were on your way, though.
I was on my way, man.
That's awesome.
And that's where it took off from.
So when did you decide to enter and become a police officer?
So in 2000, I was a debt collector for a long time.
Okay.
And that was after my radio gigs and all that stuff. You got a family. You can't travel no more. You got to... Right. So I became a debt collector. I worked for like 3 different agencies, and it was great for negotiating with people. They taught you a lot, And there were some people in law enforcement that was there working.
Really?
Yeah.
To like help with some certain
No, that was their gig. They used to be in law
okay.
enforcement, but they transferred to.
Gotcha.
Because you get old in law enforcement, you know.
Yeah.
And so I had been talking to somebody, and they said, "Okay, this is what you got to do." And I'm like, "All right, man, I'm ready. I'm ready." So I started out as a reserve cop in Fridley, and I stayed there for the longest time. And you got to be quick down there.
Yeah.
You know, you have to know how to deal with the public.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when things started coming in as far as the de-escalation of people.
Yeah.
You know, the psychologics of the cop.
Yeah.
You know, the you just don't cuff them and stuff them attitude, you know. So then, long story short, 2011, my wife's mom had got Alzheimer's.
No.
Yeah. So she's from up here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's from Noonan, where I reside now.
Sweet.
And she says, "Hey, my mom's sick.
Shit.
You know, I really want to spend time with her." And I thought, you know what? Let's pack up and move up there. Because we've been coming up here for 20-some. No. We got married in 2011. So we've been coming up here since
10
then.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah, yeah. So 2000 is when we met. 2002 is when we got married. And coming up here until 2011, and we decided we're going to move up here to spend time with her family in their final years.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, let me apply at the sheriff's department up there as a deputy and see if I can get it. Well, I got an interview and things went well, and I became a deputy. I went to the academy, finished that up, and been here ever since.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, shout out to you for being so selfless, because if you would have been like, no, you know, I've got a good job here, I want to stay here, I'm becoming a cop in Minnesota. But instead you're like, nope, yeah, let's go to Noonan. And then boom, now you're just, dude, you're exploding. Like you're the sheriff now and you got this great thing. So who knows if you wouldn't have been like open to that, none of this might not have ever happened.
No, I mean, that's
awesome.
There's a reason for everything in life, and that's the Lord, man. You just ask for that path and help him. You know, there's meditation I do in the morning. Mm-hmm. On my way into work sometimes, don't have the radio on, and there's things I say during that meditation, and I say, you know, Lord, keep me on a path, the right path, and I don't want to sway off of it. So, I mean, I know you're going to put obstacles my way. That's the way life comes. But help me deal with those obstacles.
Yeah.
You know,
I saw Morgan Freeman in an interview talking about like kind of meditating and stuff. And he goes, too many people when they pray, they go like, hey, I want to be powerful. I want to give me hope. Instead of God giving them hope and power, he gives them the tools to find hope and power. Like he's not going to give it to you right away. And I kind of took a lot out of that. Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants $1 million, but you got to work for it.
Yeah.
All the material things that are on this earth, you have to work for. They're not going to be given to them unless you win in a scratch off. And what's the odds of that?
Yeah, not much.
So you got to figure out that angle if you want to chase it and get it. Now, I do want to be a millionaire. Nah, I don't think I'd be happy.
No,
because I'm too much of a service person. I like to serve my community.
Just think about this, like the house we're in right now, my house.
Yeah.
When probably 80, 90 years from now, somebody else will live in here.
Yeah.
Like I won't be around, you know, and then same with your house. So like these material things that we take so much pride in and so much, oh, this is mine. Well, for now.
Yeah. Well,
like one day it will be somebody else's or it'll, something else.
Dallas, it's so funny that you bring that up because if you look at my second video in my bio, there's a person speaking over my video that says all of that.
Really?
And it's an awesome message.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. How I really want to ask this question because it was interesting for me because when I went to college at Dickinson State, Dickinson, the oil came in and it turned. Williston, North Dakota, big turn. Like the Walmart, McDonald's in Williston were the highest in the nation, and everything. People come in and go. Crosby also changed.
Yes, it did.
It went from like kind of keep your doors unlocked at night to, hey, maybe lock it up, shut the windows actually. What was it like being a cop when the oil field came and the Was it that big of a ramp up in crime, or what did you see?
Okay, so that's kind of a two-part question for me.
Okay.
And I say two-part because of my previous experience coming up here and utilizing that as far as my thoughts about that.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was very busy. It did change overnight from the time I've been here, visiting back in the day up until that time.
Sure.
There was fights every night. I mean, literally every night.
In Crosby?
In Crosby.
Really?
In the county. We went from no guns to guns.
Yeah.
Every domestic, and it's true to this day, every domestic is ramped by alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get a bunch of guys, women, I mean, women are no different than guys.
Right.
And you get the alcohol and you get your friends razzing you on, then it turns into a bad atmosphere.
Yeah.
But back to my original part of it, the experience I gained in Minneapolis on how to deal with this kind of thing helped out a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people will panic if they've never seen it before. You got two things, you flight or fight. Mm-hmm. We're the guys that fight. We run towards it. Well, everybody else needs to get out of the way and run away from it.
Right.
But yeah, and fortunately it's become an industry, not a boom.
Right.
We had that boom for a while.
Right.
And yes, now they're starting to drill in North Dakota, in Divide County. But yet it's an industry. So these companies that are hiring these people are a lot more careful than what they were doing in the past. Because it's a boom, you want a body that works. And if they don't work out, you just hire another person.
Yep.
And if they don't work out, you just hire, there's no screening process. Now there's that screening process, the safety protocols that they put into place that make everything more safe for the environment, safe for the people, safe for the individuals in the county, safe for the people in the establishments. Right. By doing that background check, and they can conduct themselves well in the community.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's true. Very true. But I just, man, that would be wild. Because I wasn't up here much, obviously, going to college and stuff. But my parents would call and be like, yeah, Joey's is packed. And we only knew like 3 or 4 people in Joey's. Where now, like, you walk in and there's probably like 20, 25 people in there on an average night. And you'll know everybody and they'll buy a couple rounds. But I can't fathom in my mind walking in there and not knowing anybody. Yeah, that'd be wild.
Yeah, we did bar walkthroughs every night just to let them know that we're present.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people that did come up here, they thought,
there's no cops.
There's no cops.
Right.
Probably one.
Right.
Yeah,
Barney Fife.
And they don't know what they're doing anyways.
Yeah.
Well, they found out quick. Yeah, because in law enforcement, you got to be proactive, not reactive. And the more you can be proactive, the better the results are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, look at, just Los Angeles, Seattle, Minneapolis. I mean, when they were trying to defund the police, I mean, it just, it was too bad. It was sad to see.
Yeah, fortunately, where we are, Dallas, we got low taxes and everything. Mm-hmm. And we got a slice of heaven here. Mm-hmm. But I can speak for our county that our commissioners are pro-law enforcement. Mm-hmm. And so to fund a sheriff's office, they do it well.
Yeah.
We have state-of-the-art equipment at the sheriff's office. We have state-of-the-art vehicles and the equipment inside the vehicles. Tools that were never there before.
Right.
If something new comes along, they're not afraid to try it. So we do have a wonderful team from the commissioners on down.
Yeah, and that's important. Have a good back.
Yeah.
Good backing, not only the community, but like you said, commissioners.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about TikTok. So what nights do you go live? Just so people listening, let's do a quick plug for you right now.
Oh, hey, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Typically, every night at 8 o'clock Central Time, I go live. There's nights every night, man.
Wow, that's a grind, bro.
Let me tell you something. It's a stress reliever for me. Mm-hmm. And that's how I started doing this, is to relieve a lot of stress. Some guys work out. I mean, look at me. I don't need to work out.
You look good. Yeah.
So I go in the studio and I hit that start button, and it just brings me in a different world, and that stress and and my day job just leaves me for an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's how I started doing this. And if you want to come along for the ride, come on in.
Yeah.
And de-stress as well. You know, it's a hobby, but yet you do well at it as far as monetization. I'm not there for the money.
Right.
But you do get compensated for it, which I never expected. But yeah, to go in there for that hour and a half at 8 p.m. Central Time, it's awesome.
Dude, I love just seeing how successful it's come, because you go into your room sometime, there's like 140 people. And the cool thing about TikTok that I didn't know about was they can like tip, right?
Yeah.
They can tip right away. So people are tipping, and it's kind of like a secondary income for you.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I call that my VIP zone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're
VIP.
checking into the VIP zone.
All right. I like that. And now that it's political season right now, we've got the big presidential election, the debates, everything, people running. The unique thing is your term for sheriff is what, 4 years?
It's 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So how long till your next?
So this will be my second term.
Second
year.
Second year. So you got 2 to go still.
2 to go. Yeah.
I remember when you were trying to go for re-election, I put a sign up, Zach Schroder for.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. And do you how does the campaign trail, does that get you nervous, or because obviously you're a cop, but you don't really want to be a politician. How do you handle that? Yeah,
I mean, it's tough when you're a sheriff and you're nonpartisan, and you try to stay away from the politics of it. Mm-hmm. But it gets very stressful if you have an opponent that just doesn't get the picture on what the public wants.
Right.
The way politics are nowadays is that they believe that if they throw a tomahawk missile your way, you're going to back down and you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. And when I say tomahawk missile, I'm talking about every dirt, every dig, every insult, every character flaw. You know the path I'm going down.
Yeah.
That they can find and put it in the public. So that part makes it very stressful. I mean, the first election that I did, I don't think I ate.
No shit. Just nervous.
Just nervous because you would read something, and my wife had pointed out, she goes, you can have 100 people in a room. One person can say something negative about you. And those 99 people will say something positive.
You think about
you think about that one person,
100%.
I don't know if you want to call it people pleasing. I don't know if you want to call it self-improvement, but it's just something that, I think just because you're human, you want to do well for everybody.
Right.
So when you get those digs and those tomahawk missiles pointed at you, and it wrecks your character inside.
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly have got a lot thicker skin from that first election and then the second election.
Well, it's got to be hard because the people you're running against are generally the guys that work for you.
Yeah, true story.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's got to be tough.
Yeah, but you have to maintain that little level of respect for that individual.
Yeah. And
you have to be able to take the high road.
Yeah.
Just brush it off the shoulder and
let
the public know what you're going to do for them.
Right.
No, that's 100%. What people want to hear.
Yeah.
In politics, it's just, if these people that are running, no matter what position, and they can tell you straight in the face and look right at you in the eye and say, this is what I'm going to do for you, and this is how I'm going to do it, that's what a true politician is.
Right.
But if they make these promises and get in office,
no plan,
and it's not there, then you really find out what type of guy it is, and you can just recall him.
Right.
That's the great thing about elections nowadays, is you can recall them. There's not too many people stepping up to the plate holding these people accountable for what they promised.
Right.
No,
spot on.
They have a backup plan. Obviously, in my position, okay, if I lose the election, I don't get a paycheck anymore.
Right.
So you have to have that backup plan.
Yeah.
My backup plan in that particular case would be, I'm still going to help the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost it. There had to be a reason why I lost it.
Right.
But yet, I'm so dedicated into what I do, I'm still going to help the community regardless.
You got my vote right there.
You know?
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
just the person I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Speaking of the person you are, a mutual friend of ours, Goober,
Yeah.
who worked at New Century, when him and I were working at New Century, he's like, hey, we need some volunteers for this Halloween theme park, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I never heard of this. And because I just moved back from Phoenix, and he's like, no, yeah, it's at the Schroder farm. And I'm like, really? And I went out there and helped, and like I was a scarer, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But what it is for people listening, it's awesome. What Haunted Acres, right? Is
It's called Scream Acres.
Scream Acres, sorry.
Yeah.
And people, like, you take them on this buggy and they go around your big estate in tree rows, and people jump out and scare them. And then you actually have a haunted house
Yep.
in one of your old barns, which is awesome. And it's legit.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome, man. And we can raise a lot of money, and we don't, as my wife and I, as property owners,
Yeah.
don't expect one dime from that.
Right.
So everything that's made out there is given back to the fire department for new equipment.
Okay.
Okay. Or whatever the fire department needs. I don't know if they're putting it in a fund for the new fire department that they plan on making or new equipment. But we want that to go back to the community.
Yeah.
So, you know, everything down to the advertisements that we donate and new equipment every year that gets added to the attraction, we just donate it.
That's awesome, man.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Scream Acres, man. It's on 40 acres. And it's all these awesome tree grows you go through, which is surprising for North Dakota because our state tree is a telephone pole.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's 1,000% right.
So every one of these rows that you go down, it's lit, and there's some decorative, scary stuff in there. And there's live actors that come out at you. And it's on a hay wagon pulled by a tractor. So that theme is set up right away, you know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a cold night, so you got a blanket on, you know?
There was one guy, I don't know if he wants to be named, but he like went all in.
Yeah.
All in, like a $500 mask.
Oh, yeah.
And he would just stand there, and you weren't sure if he was a statue, like a prop, or if he was an actor.
Yeah.
And it turned out he was an actor. And he's, every time, I remember, like, you could time it where me and a couple of my buddies were at the beginning, and we would time it so when people were going by him, we could watch.
Oh,
and so we'd watch and be like, oh, these guys don't know. They think he's just, because you have like figures all around there.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, is that a human? Is that a prop? What is that? What is that? Oh, I think that's a human. Okay, wait. Oh no, it's a prop. Okay, this has got to be a prop. No, that's a human. And boom. But he was so good, and it was like a weird clown face, and he had the whole outfit.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
He was all in, man.
All in. And I was like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah. That's the way it is in that haunted house too, man.
Oh, yeah. Your son had those like incredible makeup with it was like needles going through his face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Scared me.
Every year, man. Usually we start in June, but it's been kind of a weird year for weather. But yeah, in June we start planning and ordering the props and things like that. But yeah,
people should come to that whenever
they got to come to it, man.
That's awesome.
We did end up on the circuit as far as people are now aware of it that actually tour these kind of things.
Really?
And they'll go from state to state.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we ended up on that circuit. So we do get a lot of people from out of state coming to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, me and Kenny and Jesslyn and Kristen and myself, we went out on a couple date out there and just to have fun. And it was a lot of fun. You know, went out and ate at Noonan and then went up to you guys' place. But we've been at this for 40 minutes already. I know you got to go on tonight. I know, dude. I know you got to go live tonight. But Zach, this podcast is called Swim Lessons because it's about getting over the tough times. What do you say to yourself? You touched on it a little bit earlier, but what do you say when the chips aren't falling your way, back's against your wall, and trying to get back into your own flow, if you will? What's the saying you say to yourself?
You know, one of the things that I do is I'll sit down and I'll start reflecting. And then I got to seek help from others. I mean, you can't do this by yourself. So if you surround yourself by winners like yourself, Dallas, you will get sound advice. But if you surround yourself by, I don't want to call them losers,
right?
Because there is winners and losers. But anyways, you surround yourself by those kind of people, they're going to give you bad advice and you're going to get chips falling all the time. Misery loves company. So stay away from that.
Yeah.
Always seek somebody that's better than you and get advice from somebody that's better than you to get you out of that trap. And I'm not saying my life is like that 100%. I you know, there's some times where depression hits and you got to sit down for a couple of nights and reflect, but you'll bounce back, man, with those tools.
Preach, brother. That was great.
I'm talking about it, man.
That was awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Give us one more plug for your TikTok so people can watch.
It's actually on TikTok. It's a DJ _ Thunder1, D1, not WONE. It's Thunder1.
The number one. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do for our community, and let's do this again down the road.
That sounds good, man. Okay. I was all excited to get up to you.
That's a wrap. DJ Thunder.